all of these graphics are their own individual Lottie animations. It's really well done and I like it. Oh, I love a good local business web design. Hey everybody, we're gonna react to some cool looking websites. Let's get into them. So the first website that we're gonna look at is the Hidden Valley website. First thing I'm thinking, the imagery is great. It is really difficult to make a good website without good imagery. You can have the best design, best styling, but without good imagery, it's really difficult to take it to the next level. Of course, this is Hidden Valley, so of course they're gonna have lots of good images, lots of good photos with food in it, stuff like that, but just something to keep in mind. Now, I really like this website because it goes on for a long time. It's not just this really small landing page trying to get you to purchase something. It goes on and on and on, and there's something for everyone. If you want something Hidden Valley, you are going to find it on this page. There's meals, there is food that it goes well with, there's seasoning, right? There's all these different things and all these different appetizing foods. There's even apparel. I mean, that's awesome. It keeps going on for a very long time and I love it. Let's take a look at this scrolling text right here. Have you ever had it where you see scrolling text on a website and it goes past and you didn't quite catch what it said? What they've done is you can actually grab it. You say, oh, okay, that's what it said. That's really cool. It's really subtle, but it's really well done and I like it. Now, the one thing I want to mention about this website is that when you have lots and lots of different animations and interactions, the page speed is probably going to take a hit. And I actually opened this up on my mobile phone to check. And sure enough, it was a little bit slower loading on mobile, but it may be worth it for some businesses. For some local business, it might not be, but for them, I think it works really well, even though the page speed is a little bit slower on mobile. The next website that we're gonna look at is Mighty. We talked about graphics on the last website, and the first thing I'm thinking on Mighty's website is, man, I wanna see what else their website has to offer. When you're hit with a cool graphic like this immediately, it automatically makes you think, oh, they must have a lot more cool graphics on the website. Really well done. It's sometimes very easy to tell when you see a Webflow website. In this case, I knew it immediately because when your mouse moves over these icons, it kind of follows your cursor around. And also when you hover over this right here, it kind of follows the mouse as well, and it's pretty easy to do that in Webflow. Now, as we scroll down on the site, it does get a little bit crammed. I don't think it's a huge deal, but the reason why that can be important is because if we see this header and text down here, it's a little bit difficult to tell what it's referring to. Is it referring to this graphic up here? Is it referring to this down here? Is it its own separate thing? It can be a little bit difficult to organize things in your head when they get a little bit crammed. In this case, I don't think it's a huge deal, but it is just something to keep in mind when you're designing. Now, there are a lot of bright colors on this website. If we look, there's orange, there's this purplish bright blue, there's pink, there's orange. There's a lot of really bright colors. The reason why I think they've done this to a T and have done it really, really well is because of this background color they picked. It's this dark purple. The color palette fits only with a dark background color. Specifically, I think purple is about the only color that would have worked for this website. It reminds me of FinSuite's website a little bit. What do you think about the colors? Do you think they've gone a little bit too far? Do you like them? Let me know. So this is the Flux Academy website. Ron Segal teaches designers the art of design in business. Let's talk about this hero interaction. As you scroll down, we can see these graphics move over and then move down into this 3D graphics head. When I first saw this, I thought, man, this is a really cool 3D render on this website. But the more I looked at it, the more I realized this probably isn't a 3D render, and there are a few reasons why. Number one, when you scroll down, there's a little bit of herky-jerkiness. When you have 3D objects actually rendering on the website, I'm not talking about graphics of 3D websites, I'm talking about the browser is actually rendering out these 3D objects. When you have browsers rendering out these 3D objects, typically the animation is going to be very, very smooth unless they're super heavy 3D graphics, meaning they have high file sizes. In this case, there's a little bit of jerkiness, which makes me think this is probably done as a Webflow interaction because they use Webflow to build the website. Sure enough, when you look into the code, they are using a Webflow interaction, and what we've got going here is a 3D graphic right here of this person with the head busting open, and then all of these graphics are their own individual Lottie animations. The reason why I didn't think that they were just graphics is because they're actually moving in a 3D space. As you can see, they're moving in a way that a 2D object couldn't move, so they couldn't be 2D objects. They would have to be either 3D objects or 3D objects rendered out as Lottie animations. Nonetheless, it's a very cool interaction. I think it's very well done. Now, one thing this website has done incredibly well is the subtle things. Subtlety is what can take a good web design to a phenomenal web design, and these guys have hit it out of the park with the subtleties. For example, if you hover over this video, a lot of people think, oh, I just need to add a triangle to tell people that this is a video, right? These guys have taken it a step further so that when you hover over it, it's kind of this playful interaction, and it makes you want to keep scrolling down and see what other interactions are going to be on the website. Also, these graphics, this graphic right here on the right side, as you scroll down, there's just a tiny bit of a parallax. Not everyone will notice it right off the bat, but if you look closely, you can definitely see it, and it just adds a little bit of touch that makes it look really, really professional. Another thing I saw is that when you scroll into view of these graphics, they slowly, very slowly scale up, and I love that. Again, not everybody's going to notice it right away, but it just takes the design to the next level. Again, we have these numbers. They're a little bit difficult to read, but you can definitely see them. And again, it just adds that subtle touch that takes the website up a notch. So well done, Flux Academy. This is Monograph. We talked about the subtleties in Flux Academy's website, and these guys have done it really well as well. A lot of websites have these dot graphics. We've seen it all before, but what these guys did is they took it a step further and they added these like checkerboard patterns and like these slanted checkerboard, and I don't even know what this is, but it looks awesome. And again, it just takes the website to the next level. Now, what they could have done is they could have taken a graphic like this and just copied and pasted it on different sections of the website. And honestly, this is what a lot of companies do, especially if they don't have the budget. But if you have the budget and you can spend a little extra on a website, you can have graphic designers create individual and unique graphics for each individual image on the website, which is what they've done. And it just makes you think like, man, they spent a lot of time and they spent a lot of meticulous effort crafting each one of these graphics to match the image that it goes behind. So incredibly, incredibly well done. Another thing I think they hit it on the nail, which a lot of people struggle with, is they've added testimonials underneath these sections here, right? So they have the header, a text, and a call to action, and an image on the right side, right? Every website has that. But what they've done is they took it a step further, and they tried to fit this testimonial right underneath it. The reason why that's so difficult is because it's hard to organize these things in your head if things get crammed. We talked about that before. But these guys have done it superbly well because, one, they added this breakpoint line. Also, they made the font size a little bit smaller, and I'm looking at this and it is not overpowering. Everything's clean and clear and concise, and they've done it on each one of these sections, so very well done. Oh, I love a good local business web design. When people think of local business websites, they probably think of these ugly, non-responsive websites. That's not what this is. First of all, the design's awesome. It looks great. The colors are awesome. They look great, but these guys have hit it out of the park with their simplicity. Sometimes simple is good, and I think in this case, it's very, very good. Anything you're thinking about when you're trying to hire a dentist, these guys have hit it on the nail. First of all, it's obvious it's a dentist from the graphics and the copywriting. You know where they're located, you know how to contact them, you know who the dentist is, which is something you'd be wondering. You want to know what the space is going to look like. They've laid it out for you. Also, this space looks awesome. It makes me want to visit this place. They tell you how you can pay and if they accept your insurance, how to become a member, that sort of thing. So I think they've done something which is pretty difficult in simplicity, but they've hit it out of the park with that. Also, here's a neat little trick about headers. When you're adding H1s, H2s, H3s on a website, a lot of people think the H1 has to be the biggest text on the page. So H1 basically tells search engines what the entire web page is going to be about. Not necessarily the website, but the web page. If you added this start happy as the H1, it wouldn't really give search engines a good idea about the website, because what does that mean? Start happy, that doesn't give search engines context. However, what these guys have done, if you look at the back end, is the H1 is actually this Mill Creek, Utah pediatric dentist. This tells search engines that the page is about a pediatric dentist who's located in Mill Creek. Not a lot of designers do this, but if you're creating websites, you should absolutely add this trick to your toolbox. All right, that's all we've got today. Which website did you like best? If you've got a website that you'd like me to review, or you've seen a website you want me to review, leave it in the comments below. I will see you in the next video.